So it's Mercury in retrograde. I'm here with Caitlin, and my camera, battery, and all decided that it didn't want to work today. So now we are rigging it up with some tape, like Walmart style. Zaza. Stay tuned. Zaza. Hey guys, it's Trippy Gingy, and I am here with my very first episode ever with one of my favorite human beings and females, Caitlin, aka what's your handle?
Clothing is my boyfriend.
Because it is.
It really is.
So tell us what you do.
So currently right now I thrift items and I resell them. My whole thing is though that I've been traveling around and thrifting them in various places, and I do markets. I also do some side work for Jewel Cult. And yeah, just anything that comes my way now.
That's awesome. And introduce us to your fur babies.
This is Miss Polly, and then we've got right over here Mr. Larry. Come on, Mr.
Larry Berry.
He's like holding on for his dear life. He's like,
no, he's camera shy.
What is she doing?
She's gyrating for the camera.
Whoa,
you're hilarious. So we are going to be smoking for the very first time the PAX pen, and it is a CBD X by Matrix. So do you want to do the honors, my dear?
Yes.
I think you just inhale.
So is there THC in here?
There's a little bit of THC in this CBD.
Because from what I understand, you need the THC for the CBD.
It depends on what you're using the CBD for. So people that have ailments with cancer and anything with inflammation, CBD can work great for them. If you're needing it for pain, you do need THC to trigger the receptor sites with CBD to open up those.
Okay.
And then also different terpenes. I forgot the terpene profile for this, so if I find it, I'll put it up on here and you guys can figure it out. But we'll kind of try it out and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So tell us about, you just went to Paris. Tell us a little bit about your Paris trip.
I fell in love with Paris. Something actually kind of cool. I was by this carousel, and we were just kind of like taking photos, having fun. And I looked down and I found this old, like super vintage key on the ground. So I have it now on a necklace.
Where is it? Here, let's see it.
It's with my Buddha that I found.
I love your Buddha. So tell us the story about the Buddha, because I love the story about the Buddha too.
So the Buddha, I was just taking out trash, and I was going, you know, you're going to look in the trash can as you're dumping it. And I saw at the very corner in the trash can the little Buddha there without the necklace. And so I grabbed him, and I've had him ever since, and I've thrown him on this chain that I've had. And so I kind of like I wear him really often, and every time someone will be like, oh my God, I love your Buddha, and I'll be like, that's my man.
What a Buddha about it.
Yeah.
What a Buddha.
What a Buddha?
How, yeah.
I don't know. So that was like a super special moment, and my friends were like, oh my God, it's the key to your heart, like you're in love with Paris. And I like kind of like giggled it off, like, yeah, whatever. But the moment that I left Paris, I was like, ugh, devastated.
Really?
Yeah.
How come you were devastated?
It's just so beautiful there, and like the Parisian way of life is so chic, and it's such like a clean environment. And so I drank champagne the whole time. I love champagne, so I had glasses of Veuve on deck. And the food is delicious. Their cigarettes are delicious. The whole experience was just amazing, and I think that you come back to America and you kind of see just like everything here is so new. That place is so old.
Yeah.
So you've got like these buildings are like art, and it's so old and it's so beautiful and so preserved and clean. And then you come down to these like cities where it's not that old and it's real run down. So it's just kind of sad to come
where it's not taken care of, and there's not that history and that attachment to just those structures have been there for thousands of years, some of them, and they're absolutely
insane,
ginormous, but they're solid.
yeah.
Whereas like here, you drive down Fremont and you see El Cortez, you're like, oh, I don't know how much longer that's going to be there before they tear it down. You know, there's several casinos that they
and then
tore
you're
down
like
and
kind
rebuild.
of concerned, and you're like, if they tear it down, is that smell going to go into the air?
Right? The asbestos.
Yeah, so I mean, and I love like my little spot here. You're in my home right now, and so I love my spot, and I love my downtown view. I feel so grateful for this, and for the first time I came home and I was like, I live in trash. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment this past week coming home, but like seeing people that I love and getting back into my routine is such a gift, and I'm like, oh, I really do love Vegas.
Yeah, you stopped by the salon earlier this week. You're like, I just needed to get out and see all the people that I love because it's been a hard adjustment coming back home. So where else did you stop? What else downtown feels like home for you that helped you kind of recalibrate to this level and this
True
frequency?
Fusion.
Yeah?
Yes,
Which one do you go to?
I go to the one off Eastern, and it really is a tribe. They call it, you know, the True Tribe, and it really is a tribe, and I love going there, and I love the girls at the front desk. I love the community. I love the founders, and it's home. And it's really good. It's a really good place to go. It's got like so many different classes for your body that you can just find what you like, find your instructors, and go do that.
Yeah. What do you feel like you learned in Paris, being away from like, you know, the political unrest that we have here in America? Like, was there any like spiritual or any type of analytical thing that really, like, other than the history, that really just shook you up and like
Honestly,
opened up your mind or anything?
No, because I guess it did open up my mind. Honestly, the grass isn't greener on the other side. Racism is huge out there, and it was very prevalent, and it was kind of one of those things. You've got to understand, we were like 3 cute American girls traveling to Paris.
It was you,
Chris,
Colt, Jacqueline, right?
Yep.
And Chris.
Yes. And we all planned our outfits out as we are, Chris hates the word fashionista. I like to call myself more of a glamazon, especially in those environments.
Yeah.
So I really focused on my outfits and like curating them. And every day I had 2 outfits planned for photos. And we were out and about, and we were getting hit on by Parisian boys. And soon you realize that one would be like, a different group of guys would try to talk you out of not talking to that group of guys. And it was like suddenly became apparent that it was a racism thing, and it was like because those guys were Algerian, and then these ones were Jewish French, and so you kind of noticed the divide of yeah, and even with the Algerians don't like the Italians, and the Italians don't like and it's just this whole like mix of, and they all look the same to me.
They're all men, right? Hot men. Do you feel like you have that similar experience coming downtown and going out here?
No. I feel like racism is like, it is out there and it is a thing, but like, and I've experienced racism within, you know, because I have dated black guys, and so I've experienced, you know, comments here and there from that, but other than that, not huge.
Do you feel like it's so saturated with so many cultures, and the culture here is so open and welcoming to anyone that wants to come into it?
Yes. Well, and I think in our downtown community is like, we are just, I think we're all here just trying to make our own way, and that's our focus.
Yeah.
That's not even a thing. I think if anything, I think that the downtown community can be gossipy.
Yeah, which is any small town.
Yeah.
Community.
Yeah, so it's like, other than that, I think we all accept each other pretty well.
So, tell me about your experience with cannabis. How long have you been partaking of it?
So I grew up around cannabis. I think that like in middle school took a stance that I would not do any drugs, and that soon changed. Because I saw how it was affecting people around me. And cannabis being that too, where it's like people become forgetful, and being a child, you are dependent on like some structure, and so when there's like people are forgetting things, you're like, you get frustrated. So I thought to myself I would never do anything, and I held off, I feel, for a long time. And then I think that I started to rebel, and I started to try things outside of my comfort zone just to kind of like feel like I had control of my life.
How old were you then?
I was 16. And my first experience was like so ridiculous. I just like got super high with my friends and had a laugh attack, and then they played a joke on me, and then I like ate a big bowl of mac and cheese with mascara all over my face because I took a nap. And but I've had like off and on with cannabis. I mean, not until Las Vegas did I really smoke it. Now I took a couple year break. Yeah, just for spiritual reasons, believing that it kind of like puts a fog between you and your higher self. Yeah. And so I think that that was a big thing for me, but I don't know if it necessarily does that anymore. I think there are drugs out there like mushrooms and cannabis that were put here on earth as medicine. And so I believe that. I mean, but then you like, if I'm going to start thinking that drugs were put here on earth for medicine that weren't man-made, then there's like opioids, which I believe are like absolutely disastrous.
Yeah, honestly.
To mankind.
So with your reintroduction into cannabis after you spiritually took yourself away from that, what reintroduced you to cannabis?
It was more of like a social thing. And then from there, it was just like, you know, I would smoke from time to time. It wasn't this huge, it's never been actually a daily practice in my life. But now it is more so. Now that I work for myself, I'm, you know, I microdose mushrooms like we had spoke about. So I microdose mushrooms, I take mushrooms often, and then I also do smoke weed, especially before my workouts.
And why do you do it before your workouts?
You know, with a sativa, it gives you that energy, and then it also really can like focus you. So if I'm like in a workout, it's like I'm not thinking about anything except for my workout, where if I'm not stoned, I'm sometimes like thinking about other things. Yeah.
And then you might want to give up faster because you're like, oh, I can't do this. Whereas if you're super high on the sativa and you're working out, you're like go, I got all of this.
I told someone, you know how the whole like, you know, the whole like stoner persona is like, duh. Well, like, yeah, like,
what's up,
and
Caitlin?
it's like, yeah, no, it's like, hey, Stephanie, and you're like, what? And it's like, so, but it does sometimes turn me into a little bit of a meathead, where I'm like, pick up weight, 1, 2, you can do it, you know, like that type of thing.
But it's serving you. Just by talking with you about your usage of marijuana and mushrooms, that you have an intention behind pretty much everything you do.
Yeah, I try not to do things mindlessly. I think when I have done things mindlessly in the past, it gets me into like really tricky situations. And also when I'm not taking care of myself, my body turns on me.
It does, doesn't it? So how is this pen making you feel right now?
I feel good. I don't feel super, like, I don't feel mind high, but I do feel like a relaxed. And that's the one thing. I actually did take CBD there for a while, and it really just takes the edge off.
I know a couple months ago we were connecting about our spinal injuries, and you were experiencing some really terrific pain from a reintroduction to a prior injury, correct? And at that time, what were you dabbling in, and what were you like? What did you figure out worked for you in that?
Oh, it was so. What I had done is my hip was turning posterior, so it was turning in. So as women, our hips can separate for childbirth, and so my left hip had been separated and was turning in, and so it was like the left side of my body was in labor pain for 2 months. So that's what that was. But nothing really worked. The CBD oil worked as like taking the edge off, but that was a time that I was really focused on I didn't drink at all. I didn't drink once in that 2 months.
That's amazing.
I didn't, I smoked, but I really actually didn't smoke. My cat is acting like a freak right now. I took edibles to sleep.
Were they indica or?
Yeah, indica. I would take a Chiba Chew, and honestly,
those are intense. How much of that would you take? Like a little nibble? Or?
I would take a nibble and a nibble until I was like done. And so I would pass out. And then, to be honest, I did a couple times take Xanax to sleep because I knew that wasn't something that I would abuse. And I knew I wouldn't abuse painkillers, but they did prescribe me Oxycottons, so I could have, it was like 15 milligrams 3 times a day. And I took 1 pill during that 2 months, and it didn't take the pain away. It kind of made me a little high, and that was like the moment that I realized that if I did take those pills, I probably would have killed myself.
Really?
Yeah. The pain was so severe. Well, because I had a pinched nerve in my back before, which was a different kind of pain years prior, and I used to take painkillers because I bartended, and so I would take it to go to work for the 4-hour shift that I have, and then I'd wake up in the morning and I'd take it, and it was kind of manic. I would go to the store and I would buy all these things to like make earrings. And so I would like have this like mess in my apartment of like arts and crafts I was doing, and I would be like high doing it, and then the pill would wear off and I would be in bed crying because I was in pain again, and it was like, I'm never gonna not be in pain. And so this injury was much more severe. The other one I could work and I could stand, and I worked during this time, but I couldn't stand and I couldn't do a good job. So I knew that the highs would get me through times, but the come down would. And I was alone. I mean, I was out here with, I have one family member out here. And so it was... how
long have you been out here now?
I'm working towards my 4 years.
Really?
So technically, actually, only 3 as in February last month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been amazing. I didn't know that Las Vegas and I would have such a strong connection.
It loved you. The way I perceive it is it loves you.
Yes, it does. It does love me. I've kind of, I've made a name for myself out here. I get to experience things all the time, new, and I love, and I tell everybody this, I love the fact that I live in a city that on my days off when I used to work, I could have a vacation. But now I kind of feel like I always have a vacation. I mean, I work every day, and I've been up
grinding.
This morning I've been up since 6:30, and I've done a Pilates class today, and I keep going. But the fact that I even was thinking to myself, now that it's warm, I'm like, oh, next week I'm gonna give myself a day to go to the pool.
What pool do you like?
I go to the Grand. Their rooftop pool. Have you ever been?
Yet. No,
oh, it's my favorite. So locals are favorite. It's here in the downtown, and it's a rooftop, and it's called the Citrus Pool Lounge, and they
just revamped it last summer. Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. But the other thing is that you go there and you can just like lounge and people watch, and then read your book, listen to your music, whatever. But also, you can order like a half a watermelon or frozen grapes or like
I love
tableside guacamole.
Give me a grape, please.
Yes. So it's such a the perfect.
Fresh.
Yeah, and I can walk there.
Yeah, it's like 4 blocks away.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
I love that. And that's what Vegas has. Vegas has a lot to offer, and it's more than just the Strip.
Where do you think you would want to go after this?
If I move, it's going to be out of the country.
Yeah?
I don't think there's a city in America that I would want to live in. There's you've got the big cities like San Francisco, New York, but it's just so overpriced, and there's so many people that your quality of life isn't that great. And then you've got Portland, and it's I still need sun. Other than that, then there's middle America. I have no interest. I lived in Texas for a little bit. I didn't care for it. I'm from New Mexico. I need a bigger city. That's what I liked about Paris. Is I love the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
I love to be around a lot of people. And Vegas has that, and it's affordable here. There's a creative community. I can't imagine myself leaving for another state unless I met somebody who was worth it.
Yeah. That's a good
point.
I
currently have a boyfriend. clothing.
I was like, whoa, this is news to me. Who's your boyfriend?
Who's your boyfriend?
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like where you are trying to take clothing as my boyfriend.
So originally I had the idea for a storefront, and I did like I had like kind of like some people on my side and an investor, and I had a business planned, and then I started to do, it was kind of Ferguson was like the first thing. It was like, oh, well, why don't you do a pop-up shop there? And then it was like, okay, well, I teamed up with Jewel Cult to do it. That was the first time I'd met her, and I like brought a bunch of things that I had to resell, and then it kind of like transpired out of that, and then my vision changed.
How long ago was that?
Clothing is my boyfriend. My first pop-up shop was in December, and then it really like has taken off since like only a month, 2 months. That's when I got Lola, my intern.
Nice.
And yeah, and I do really well at those, and I've been doing well on eBay and Depop, and so I've kind of just like continue to do it, and it feels more of a hobby, but it does bring some income in, and I have kind of changed. I just haven't pigeonholed myself to anything, and I do know my only focus is not to have a job, so I'll never
like your structured.
Yeah, I'll never clock in and out for somebody again.
Once you go into the entrepreneurial field, it's almost impossible to go back. Like, I've been doing hair and being an entrepreneur on my end for 11 years now, and I can't imagine. Like, one of my girlfriends works at the Cosmo, and she just messaged me. It's like, hey, I'm looking for a full-time stylist. Do you want to come work for me? And like, that sounds great, but I can't. I couldn't. Like, as great as the opportunities that would be, like, I wouldn't be able to be the mom I want to be. I wouldn't be able to be the entrepreneur I would want to be because I wouldn't be able to have the time. Be able to manipulate that structure and also, like, allow life to happen and direct you into another realm. You had a business plan for a storefront, and if you had a storefront, then that would be a lot of work and a lot of time.
You'd have to be there every day.
You have to be there every day. You have to manage people. You have to manage your clothes. You have to manage your books. You have to manage everything. And then does that take away from the experiences in life that you really want to have?
Yes. I mean, it does, because I worked, for a company where I was the store manager. So it was like almost like, I was the boss, but I still had a boss that I had to answer to as well. And I also had to be there a lot. I was there, a good 50 to 60 hours a week for years. And so, like, for instance, Paris, I didn't plan Paris until end of January.
Really?
Yeah, it was a spur of the moment, let's go to Paris.
All of you guys? It was all spur of the moment for everybody?
Yeah. So that was, that's kind of the crazy thing, and it was just like, oh, it's affordable, let's go do it. And so, I hustled to get it done, and we went, and now I am back, and I'm planning on going to Seattle and Portland for like the week Cinco de Mayo time.
Fun.
And then I plan to go back to Europe in September, and so it's like I can make these choices where working for somebody else you would never be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I wake up every day and I plan my day out to do what fits best for me. And I think that that's one of like the coolest thing is that like when I am doing like collaborations with people or doing anything with anybody else, I always get to use the word that I'm flexible, and because my schedule is flexible,
I'm like, I can't lift my head.
I love it.
Maybe you can do that since you did yoga today.
Oh,
or Pilates.
Probably not, but I do feel good.
Yeah. So what would be your favorite aspect of design and fashion?
I would really love to be able to design my own items because I do have like visions. But I just love clothing. I really do. And I think that something that I was kind of thinking about with clothing is my boyfriend. It started off kind of like as a joke, because I have been dating single for the past 3 years. And so I've really like grown to have this strong relationship with clothing. my whole life. I've actually had one, and so I kind of declared it my boyfriend. But I think that it's kind of transpired into more of a movement where it's like the relationships in your life and doesn't have to, like, love has no
bounds.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is that, like, the things that really move you and the things that you love and you want to spend your time with, it's not always a human, it's not always the opposite sex, it's not, anything.
It doesn't have to be an animal.
It doesn't have to be an animal, it doesn't have to be anything. And for me, what really, like, motivates me to live life is clothing, and it's the one thing that's always just still brought me happiness and being able to be creative with it.
I remember growing up, I grew up really poor, like where the church had to bring my family food often because we couldn't afford it, and I had this book that my mom got me, and it was called The Girl with 100 Dresses, and so all of my clothes pretty much for like my adolescence were always hand-me-downs. I had 2 older sisters, and then I have over 70-something cousins, I kid you not, and 15 of them lived here in Vegas, and so all of the cousins would, like, the older ones would get their hand-me-downs, put them in black trash bags, and bring them over to our house, and we'd sift through them, like, I want this, and so I really loved that book because it was about this poor girl that wore the same clothes every single day, and she was made fun of, and she was picked on, and she told her classmates and her friends that she has 100 dresses at home, and they're like, why don't you wear any of your dresses? And then at the very end of the children's book, it takes you to her house, and she's got 100 pictures of dresses that she's drawn. And so with that being said, do you feel like there was an attachment to clothes and having that relationship because of how you grew up?
Well, we grew up, in the beginning it was like poor times, and so we thrifted all of our clothing, and I did get a lot of hand-me-downs from my mom's friends, but it was like I love clothing, so I didn't care where it came from.
I just want it.
I just want it. And so we thrifted, and we would go to Thrift Town in Albuquerque.
There's a Thrift Town in Albuquerque?
There's a Thrift Town.
Do they still have it?
Yeah.
I need to go.
Yeah. We should make a trip. So there's a Thrift Town up on Wantabo, and we would go there, especially on holidays, because you get the 50% off. And my mom's a shopper where she spends hours wherever she's at, and I am not. I go in and I'm like that's actually one thing is that in Paris we went thrifting.
I saw that and I was like, oh my god.
And so I have 2 baskets filled with clothing, and Jewel Call is like, how do you find all this stuff already? And it's like, I can walk through and I can just touch and then grab something, look at it, know it's right. Like, it's like,
that's a talent.
It is. And that's why I do it, because it comes so easy to me and I do enjoy it. But I used to go into the kids' clothing section and I would piece together baby clothes outfits. So that's what I would do while my mom was shopping. And then as I got older, I started shopping for myself. But I really did enjoy that. And I actually, as a child, really enjoyed the pretending of playing house and dress up. And everybody knows this who knows me, and my brothers will tell you, is that you'll never see me in the same outfit all day. So I would go to school, I'd wear my outfit there, and then I'd come home and change.
Oh my god.
So even now, like when I used to have a job, I would wear my outfit to work, and then I would come home and change and then go meet my friends. So I never wear the same outfit through the day. I feel uncomfortable.
Really? Do you feel like it's a form of self-expression as well?
Yeah, in different moods.
Yeah.
Like I feel differently throughout the day, so.
Did you ever come home on your lunch break and be like, I can't wear this anymore, I need something else because I'm not feeling this anymore? No?
No, I'm pretty committed. And when I don't take long to get ready. I probably spend about 5 minutes on my face at not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Teach me your ways.
Honestly, I just do a BB cream, and then I get my boy brow and do those, and then I put my mascara on, I put a little blush, and then some lipstick. I I have a very like fast-paced personality.
Well, obviously picking out your treasure hunting really quick.
Yeah, I don't, anything that takes time irks me. And so you saw me go into the salon all the time. I get my hair straightened because I can't straighten it myself because it just, I do not have the fact that it's going to take me 45 minutes to do my hair is
you have
like
a ton of hair.
I do.
And it's curly.
Yes. Very thick and coarse, and so I got a Brazilian blowout.
Change your life.
Oh, forever. And so, yeah, anything that takes me a lot of time, I don't like to do.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's part of your Pisces personality, or is that just one of your quirks?
I think it's one of my quirks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Pisces thing. Pisces tend to be a little more like, that's the one thing we're being flexible, is that we are actually the most like adaptable sign. And so you'll kind of see how Pisces can like kind of latch onto something and change.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just metamorphosis kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've just got, just that focus where I just like an end point.
So do you do sketches of future designs or patterns or anything like that? Or is it all better placed in your mind?
Yeah, it's all placed in my mind, and I come up with an idea and then I just do it. So I made a bunch of different shorts.
And like the boyfriend shorts, right?
Yeah, well, and then they have the chains on them. So I did a bunch of those. I've painted some faux fur jackets. I've done tie-dyed some berets. So it's kind of just like, getting things that I really enjoy and then like kind of fine-tuning them to put a little like twist.
I love that because I'm the opposite, where I like think about it and I draw it and I plan it out, and then I put so much energy into like this one idea that I never do it because I'm just like so frustrated.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're like, I have this idea, cool, I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no qualms about it. It
No.
just happens.
No, it's just like that's where it's like I don't like the time. So maybe like drawing things would be, I mean, I would kind of be excited to have like an artist and then I told them what to draw.
I'm like, if I could draw good, I would do it for you, but I'm a terrible drawer. Awful. Absolutely awful. So who are some of your fashion icons that you look up to?
I don't have anyone like specific that I'm like, this is my person. I do have different people for different reasons. Like Jackie O, I just love her and how classy. Yeah, so classy. But then you've also got Marilyn Monroe, who was like seductive, and those two in contrast, but
complete contrast, especially in like real life contrast, right?
Yeah.
Lucky Mr. Kennedy. Hello.
Yeah.
Meow.
Men love all types of women. So, like obviously Kurt Cobain, like I think that he's like on the forefront of like the 90s grunge. I love all of the like supermodels, but supermodels don't style themselves. So, nothing to latch on to. I love Chanel. Do I think it's more of my style? No. But that would probably be my favorite brand. I got to go to the Saint Laurent Museum.
How was that?
It was amazing, and I actually have like a bunch of photos I'm gonna post on an Instagram story. I'm planning to just do it all on one hit one of these days.
Nice.
Yeah. But I really just I love clothing, and I was actually filming, trying to do like a little Snapchat out, drinking my protein shake on the thing. And I'm literally like filming myself drinking, and right away I pause and I see these two cute girls in their outfits, and I'm like, cute!
Was this in Paris or here?
No, here.
Okay.
So I just love clothing. I really do. And I love seeing outfits, and I know I was at the Louvre, and this woman had the most beautiful jacket on, and it was embroidered, and it was velvet, and it was long. Ooh. And it could have been the mushrooms, but it's just also my personality. But I was like, look at her jacket. And my friends are in their own world, and the lady stops and she looks and is like concerned. And I was like, your jacket. And she was like, oh, thank you. But it's like, that's the kind of like, it wakes me up. So I'm just always inspired by just clothing in general.
So to wrap up, what would be some fun fashion tips you can give us going into spring and summer this year? What would what should we look for? What should we start pairing together?
Well, I think the thing is that you should always know your body type. I think it starts with that and being able to dress your body type. And there's like a lot of articles online. I always tell people, my mom had told me this once and I thought it was like something that really resonated, was that you find the celebrity that you look like and you style your hair and you style yourself like them because they have the best stylists.
I've never heard that piece of information. That is invaluable.
So that's like, I think that's the basics. So then you go to now your body type. You find out what shapes, what colors on your skin tone, and you kind of just trans into that. I've always been somebody who just believes in that you just dress yourself the way that you want to dress yourself, and confidence is all you need. There's so many people, so many different styles to admire, is that you just find what you like and do it.
I love it.
Yeah. And I mean, in the summertime, you've got like so much to work with, but like, honestly, stay towards those breathable materials.
Especially here in Vegas.
So the linens, the cottons and such, and find yourself your favorite pair of shorts, and you can't go wrong wearing those all the time.
Clothing is my boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Shorts.
Yeah. So that was, and then we've also got some like painted ones too that are really fun. But yeah, boyfriend shorts are really a thing, and I really like the whole having them a little longer and then it comes up just right on the side.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just get that nice like thigh line in
there.
Yeah,
yeah. A nice little cut. It's seductive.
Yeah. Ooh, cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to share as a little takeaway?
I think it's important just to get to know yourself, whether it comes in clothing or what's inside of you, and find those things that make you happy and know that you can make it your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and that love has no bounds.
I love it. Thank you so much, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Can you let them know where they can find you on all your socials?
Yeah, so Clothing is My Boyfriend on Instagram, Depop, eBay, YouTube, Twitter, and I'll be putting out some videos.
On YouTube, right? Yeah, she's been working on editing them.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you. That's awesome.
Trying to do a little informational videos, and then hopefully some kind of like blogging. On, just clothing and experiences and such. I want it to be something, all things fashion with the practice of confidence.
I love it.
Yep.
That's beautiful. We'll put all of her information here as well as down in the information box. If you guys want to get in contact with her, you'll know where to find her. Thank you for watching our very first episode of Trippy Gingy. Wait, what was I saying? And we smoked CBD today by Matrix in the new PAX pen. And I don't feel high. I don't feel foggy. And that is something I am always looking for with having to smoke all the time.
This is so nice.
It's great. Yeah, and I set it at 540 degrees. So there's an app for it too, so you can set the temperature for more flavor or for more vape, and the temperature changes how the terpenes react too, so you can look into that as well. And we'll go into more details with that with different videos. But thank you so much.
Yes.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you.
And also just want to rep this amazing necklace that I got from Caitlin. It's my little lion necklace for my little boy. So I wear this all the time now. Thank you, Caitlin.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.